What's up, everybody? What's going on, man? Wow. What's up, y'all? Whew. Man, I'm feeling a little bit better, man. What do you guys think about my haircut, man? Did my haircut look good or does it look like shit? You guys like, Tony, we don't give a fuck about your haircut. That's probably true. God, I just want to, dude, I'm in a good mood, man. Sometimes it gets to be the evening and I just get in a good mood, and I know why that is, because I know I'm going to be up late no matter what. But, hold on, let me get everything situated. All right. I'm in chat. I'm in a good mood, y'all. Let me see. You know, I know, like I say, I know things have been kind of crazy, but getting pretty. I think I'm getting better, man. I think I really am getting better. Here, let me pop. Where's the chat at? Hold on. There it is. There it is. I might as well pop out that too. Pop it out. Pop. Sweet. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Oop. One second. Oh. What's it doing? 1 second, y'all. I'm setting something up right now for the stream. Oh no! No! Setting something up right now for the stream. Oh no! Setting something up right now for the stream. Come on. What's it doing? Why does it keep shit? Oh, I see what it did. Alright. Sweet. Sorry, I had to change some settings on the stream. I was actually sharing it to my Facebook page because I didn't know that there's actually people that follow my Facebook page. Anyways. No. Oh, that's what I gotta do. Duh. Anyways. Alright, cool. Man, it's a pain in the ass setting this up, man. That's not that big of a deal. Because I'm OCD, I like to get it perfect, though. Alright, I just want to say shout out to everybody for all the support, man. I mean, you guys have been awesome, dude. Like, it may not seem like a lot, man, but to me, it is a lot. How you guys like my haircut? My haircut look good? Dory, my haircut look good? Huh? So, just so you guys know, I got every light on in my house. So, well, every light that would affect my stream. And so I gotta say, dude, I'm not a fan. I don't like it bright like this, but I know I have to have it bright like this for my face cam. Because if I turn the lights off, then it gets really dark, and in the cam you can't see anything. So it's like, ugh. But I'm gonna try something real quick. I'm gonna see something. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Anyways, I just wanted to stop in, say what's up. So I wanted to show you guys something. Maybe I'll do a stream. So, all right. So this, friends, if you guys were wondering, all this. These are all initial notes for my first video. This is wild, dude. So I got my video. I got my initial notes down for my first YouTube video. Now, I don't really know what to do next, but I think just by kind of thinking over it, what I should do, I'm guessing that the best thing to do would be to sorry, get a little fidgety, I apologize. The best thing, what the hell? Why is this on backwards? No, so basically what I'm doing now with my notes is I'm going all over my notes. And, sorry, y'all. Ah! I think that's... Alright, this ain't working right. Oh, that's... What the hell? Hold on. Okay, that's weird. Alright, so... Sorry, one second, y'all. Sorry, guys. I had to go use the bathroom. I just want you guys to know, man, that things are going good. I got all my notes. Now I got to go over all my notes again and put them in order. Somebody sent me a Reddit message. I'm not going to read it here, but he, let's see if I still have that. All right, so he sent me this dude. Wow, this dude just sent me a... Okay. I'm gonna follow him. All right, so this dude sent me a message on Reddit, and he sent me a bunch of advice on what to do for my next step. So I'm in a good mood, man. I'm excited, man. So I just wanna. We are gonna be doing a giveaway as soon as I pay. I know I mentioned this, but I had to send my hard drives away because I have about thousands of dollars worth of music on these things, and they're not being read. And so I had to go and I have to get the data recovery. That's expensive. That's a few $1,000s to get fixed. But after I do that, I am doing a giveaway for the channel. And hopefully, if it's cheaper, if it doesn't cost thousands of dollars, if it only costs like $1,000, I'm gonna be so excited. I'm gonna be doing a probably an extra giveaway for the channel. But I just want you guys to know that everything's going good, believe it or not. You know, I know viewership is not getting higher, but everything else is going pretty good. Working on my YouTube video. I go back to work this Friday. Working on my anxiety and my depression. Not taking any additional medication. I love that. Oh, hell yes. So YouTube video, streaming. Hopefully, I'm going to try. I'm gonna see what the process is to get my music up and go my DJ setup, because I have a bunch of a bunch of different DJ setups. Like I have my turntable, 2 sets of turntables, 3 sets, and I have controllers, and so I'm thinking about possibly doing that. So that YouTube stream, go back to work, and I'm just really excited, dude. Like I'm pumped up. Like I can't tell you how excited I am for everything, for all this and everything. And yeah, so gotta get my I'm just really in a good mood, man. Some people think, oh man, well you don't get viewers and stuff like that. That doesn't matter to me, dude. You know, between work and streaming and working on my YouTube video, to me that's bliss, dude. To me that's like a vacation. And then I go back to work. So then I can get more money. Because, see, I work overtime when I work. So, basically, this vacation has allowed me to... the best way to describe it is I haven't been able to... I haven't really made any money, but I haven't spent any money. So, it's kind of worked out pretty well. The hell? All right, so what we're gonna do, and like I said, a lot of times, you know, when I'm playing and gaming and whatever, sometimes I'm just dealing with stress and stuff like that. So if it seems like, man, Tony, you're being weird, just know I'm really trying to get over my anxiety, you know? That's basically what I'm trying to do. Don't ever feel bad. Like, if you see me streaming and nobody's in the stream, don't ever feel bad, dude. It doesn't work like that for me, man. Like, I don't want people to come to this stream because they feel bad. There's nothing to feel bad about. There's no reason to feel bad for me, I promise. I promise, man. You know, there's everything's, you know, everything's going pretty good. My grandmother's birthday's in 2 days. I've been buying her a bunch of stuff. And so, but I don't want nobody to ever feel bad for me. Oops. Ooh. Actually, those are good. We don't need those. Hold up for a second. But yeah, like things are looking pretty good, man. like I said, a lot of times it's like, you know, you look at my stream, it's like, man, why is your stream the way it is? And you know, many times I'm just working on different things, you know. I wonder. I want to see something real quick. I want to see if I can connect to my all right. So I'm gonna see if I can connect to my PC and my MacBook Pro. I don't think I can. Be cool if I could though. Oh. Oh. Sorry, that was terrible. So I'm checking something real quick. Oh. I'm seeing it. My headphones can connect to my laptop and my PC at the same time. And I don't think it can. That is a negative. So So I was thinking maybe my headphones would connect to my laptop and my PC, but that is a no-go. So there we go. Alright. So let's see what we got in the gaming sphere. Okay, baby. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. Feeling good. Feeling so good I don't even know what the hell I want to do, man. So I'm gonna try to see if I'm in the mood to game. If not, I'm just gonna work on my video. Or not even working on the video yet, just working on the organization of things. Things are looking pretty good though. Oh yeah. Let me make sure. Oh. All right, good. We're good. No. Oh, hold up. I'm gonna look up something real quick. Savage, what up, brother? Dude, Savage, you didn't have to sub. Yo, homie, man, I just want you to know, I'm not kidding you. I've been thinking about you. I've been on vacation for the last 3 weeks. I hope all is well. I hope your job is going good. I hope everything. I hope you're still doing airsoft. You see, I remember that stuff, man. But dude, you didn't have to sub, man. I love it. You don't know what that means to me. Do you have a minute? I was gonna I'm setting up my PS5 controller. Do you have a minute? I just wanted to give you an update on how things are going. Or are you only got like a few seconds? Okay. So, real quick, what is the dead zone on a joystick? Does the dead zone mean, like, is a dead zone good or is it bad? I want to ask you that because I want to know. I'm trying to set these up real quick. And I see these settings. I saw it in another game I was playing. And I Googled it, but it was really confusing actually when I Googled it. So it's kind of similar to how when you have the trigger button and the back button, how like the games will say like if you hold down the gas, it doesn't, like there's only a little bit of, how do I want to say it? Like, you know how sometimes some games, like in racing games, when you hold down like R2, it you want it to slowly, gradually get faster as opposed to automatically. Is that kind of how it is with the joystick? Like you don't want it to register right away. You know what I'm talking about though, right? How I can't think of the name. I can't think of how to, okay. So if I don't have any problems, do I want my if I don't have any problems, do I want my dead zone at 0? Like if, thank you for letting me know that. I'm gonna do that. See, I never used this in a game. Have you ever heard of this? So this, I found this out just recently. So this right here is so you can move your controller left and right to steer. That's what this is. So like if you want to steer with your controller, which I feel like is a cool concept, yeah, but like I'm trying to think what game utilizes that. There's a game that utilizes that very well, or it's incorporated into the game very well. But thank you for letting me know that for the dead zone. Cool. Sweet. All right, cool, awesome. I think that should be good. Oops. Thanks for letting me know that, because I was like, man, do I want the dead zone? But no, yeah, you're right. Well, how about this? I'll just get you up to speed. I won't bore you. I'll just let you know how things are going, and then you can let me know how work's going. And you're still at, hold on, don't tell me. I actually have a note down of where you worked, where you told me you worked, so I wouldn't forget. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Do not tell me. Do not tell me. Do not tell me. Because I know my options, and I'm trying to remember. Oh. BMW. The BMW. I'm gonna be an idiot if it's not BMW. And something tells me that's not correct. Because I remember we mentioned BMW and I believe was it Toyota or Honda? It's Lexus, that's right. That's right, Toyota is a division of Lexus, right? Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Oh, Lexus is a division by Toyota. Oh, okay, so it's like the luxurious line. What's up, Kai? Oh my God! I never did this many viewers. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Hold on. This is crazy. Hold on. Let me take a breather, man. This is awesome. Because Savage is here, and Savage has been in the community for a while, and Kyle is here, and him and his girlfriend have been supportive, and Benjamin's here, who's somebody who I've worked with for a long time. I just want to say thank you guys for taking the time to hang out here, man. Even if it's just for like 30 seconds, man. I just want you guys to know it means a lot. It means so much to me that I'm just like, it's just crazy, man. You guys probably don't know Ben. I've worked with Ben. He's Skater 21093. But Kyle, you might remember. You might know Savage. I don't know. I know Savage came around a lot before you came around. He's the guy who does the airsoft. You probably don't remember him. I say that because we would show pictures of like airsoft gear and guns. Maybe ring a bell at all? He's the guy who's a mechanic. Yeah. Savage been here for a minute. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I didn't know if you guys knew each other, but I was just Savage. Just he went to school. He got a certificate to be a mechanic, and he's been working a lot. And one of the things that before he started working a lot, he told me where he worked. And we talked about different, because my dad used to work at General Motors. Anyways, I'm not a car guy, but we talked about like different dealerships and different cars and things like that. And anyways, I was just trying to remember where he worked. One of the things I've done, I don't know if I told you this, Kyle, but probably up until about a year ago, when somebody would come into the stream, I would write notes down. And I would write notes like what games they play, what platform, and kind of what they like to do so I can remember. And anyways, Savage told me where he worked, and I told him, I was like, I'm not going to forget it. And he told me where he worked, and it's Lexus. And while he was working on getting a job, we were talking about different dealerships and different types of cars, and we mentioned like BMW and like Toyota and Honda. Anyways, he's in the stream now. He just came in like a minute ago, and I told him, I was like, I'm gonna remember where you work. And I had a note. I had a note where he worked because I remember I have his name, and I know he likes to do the airsoft and just some different things, and he likes to play FPS games and whatnot. And so I shouldn't need that because I don't have that many loyal people who come to the stream, but I wanted one just in case, because I know sometimes people come to the stream and they don't come for a long time. But I failed in guessing where he worked. But he does mechanic type stuff. I'm not going to try to remember. I remember when he first got the job what his role was, but I forgot what they call it. He was like the guy who drove the cars in and out and stuff like that. Anyways, I know Savage is probably like, it's weird you're talking about me on your stream, but I don't know. That's one thing I've always liked to do. I always like to kind of bridge the gap between people, because I don't know if you remember this, Savage, but one of the things I always used to say, I always used to want the most, is when I'm gaming and people are talking amongst themselves. I just, for whatever reason, I love that. If you guys ignoring everything I say, and you guys call me like whatever you want, say I'm a piece of crap, whatever, that doesn't matter to me. What's really awesome is like when you guys are in the stream and you guys feel comfortable amongst themselves, you know? And I say that because I know sometimes I'll go to a stream and it's nice that everybody knows the streamer, but like, I always thought it would be nice if like people in the chat talked amongst themselves, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, isn't that kind of what a community is? And I'm not going to go on some tangent on what a community needs to be or anything like that, but it's just something I thought about. And so it's one of the things that when it comes to streams and gaming and going live, it's one of the things that I like most. Honestly, I like that better than just about anything. But anyways, nonetheless, my last week of vacation, Kyle, I don't think you ever told me what you did, but maybe you want to keep it that way. Because I know you told me, you just mentioned about General Motors made your job possible, but you don't have to share it if you don't want to. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, really? Oh, shit. I'm late on car payments. Block. I missed a car payment. Mute. No, I'm just playing. So you're kind of like Dog the Bounty Hunter without all the YouTube views. That's kind of what you are. Or maybe you do have all the YouTube views. Hey, you guys ever thought about this? You guys ever thought if there's somebody that you know, somebody that's a coworker, somebody that's in your class, somebody that's your neighbor? And I was just thinking about this the other day. You ever thought that maybe that person you see at the store who looks like a bum, who works at a grocery store, or like your neighbor who just looks like somebody who doesn't know the first thing about computers, or like a guy you work with who just seems totally like lost when you're talking about your phone? You ever think about one of those people run a troll account that has millions and millions of followers and or views? You guys ever think about that? Have you ever thought about that? Like somebody that maybe your neighbor? No? Never, not once thought about that? Like, I wonder if this person, you know? And I say that because the reason I say that is because almost everybody who runs a trollish account, some parody account that has lots of followers, lots of views on videos, you ever notice you never see a face with those people? You ever notice that? You go on Twitter right now and you see people with thousands of followers. Now, some of those could be bots, but usually if they have 1 million followers, those aren't all bots. 2 million followers, 3 million followers. Or like, if they have a YouTube account and they have all these views, like thousands and thousands and maybe close to millions of views, you ever notice there's never a face to put with those people? They never have none of their social media connected. They never have, they always have some avatar that looks like Chewbacca's booty or something like that. I mean, it's just like crazy, dude. Like they never have a regular photo. I wonder why that is. You know? Or like, this is a thing that I've been using Reddit more. So get this, I've been using Reddit more, and I love Reddit, dude. I love it. I love it. I know there's clowns on Reddit, but there's clowns on every social media platform. But I love it because you can ask a question, and you know, it's kind of like the Facebook, but it seems like people they care a little bit more, for lack of a better way. You know? But what was I gonna say? See, I'm so excited I forgot what I was gonna say. Stop it. Well, they're also, real quick, on that point, they're also not present on the internet. Like the person who runs on a YouTube account with millions of views, you ever notice that they don't even have their social media connected? It's like, why not connect your Twitter account? You don't have to be who you are. You know, you be the same thing on Twitter. But it's like they almost want no affiliation. You know? Oh, what I was going to say about the Reddit. You go on Reddit, you want to know something funny, and this has got to be a lie. This has got to be stuff that people are making up. Everybody I talk to on Reddit, you know what they say? You know what they say? I don't use Facebook anymore. I don't use Twitter. I only use Reddit. That's a hunk of crap. No, you use other facets of social media, but I think what they're saying here, and they're too afraid to admit it, on Reddit, you're a troll. On Reddit, you're somebody who just likes to be rude and disrespectful to people. Okay, that's fine. You know, it's the internet, whatever. People, you know, I don't take that too seriously. But You don't want your Twitter account or your Instagram account connected. You want to know why? Because on Twitter, they probably have their family, well, not necessarily Twitter, but Instagram, they probably have their family following them. And so their family doesn't know anything they are. And now that I think about it, that's probably why they don't have that stuff connected. But what if it's something that's a positive thing? You know, you run a YouTube account, you got millions of views. You're not really degrading anybody. You're not being mean or rude. You just have an account that has a shtick and a niche, and people like it, and you get lots of views. Why wouldn't you want to connect that to other forms of social media? It's just crazy, man. I don't know. But the whole thing where people on Reddit, they don't use no other social media account. That's almost how everybody is on Reddit that I meet. And that's bullcrap. You're telling me you delete every other social media, or you don't use no other form of social media, on no presence on any other platform other than Reddit. Bullcrap. And usually those people, you want to know something? Almost all 100%. Usually those people have nothing. They don't associate their private life at all with social media, which I'm all for that. I understand that, but they don't even give you a hint or an inkling of what their private life might be. Like, nothing they comment, nothing they post doesn't even have anything to do with them at all. Not even like something they like to do. Here's a good example, Savage. I know you. I don't know your name. I know who you work for, but not like that. But, you know, I know you like to be, you know, you like video games, obviously. And you enjoy working on cars. I know that about you. But there's a lot of stuff I don't know about you. Same with Zyphon. He's another person in the community. I know that he lives out in California. Loves video games. Long story short, I can't think of her name, but he actually met somebody, I think he actually talks to her, from my community. Can't think of her name. You would know her if I said it, Savage. I can't remember her name, but anyways, it's like I know a little bit about them, but not everything, or not, you know, anything real personal. Anyways, I just find that just fascinating. You know, not one person I've talked to on Reddit says, yeah, I have an Instagram account. But anyways, oh, here, let me just tell you guys what's up real quick. I'm not as social as I used to be, and I know, Savage, you had a dime for every time I said that, but this is basically the only thing I do when I'm social. You know, it's like I go to the grocery store, I go for a walk, I listen to music, but I don't go out and I don't drink, I don't party, and I socialize with people, but I don't put myself in social situations. I say that because that's why I get excited when I stream, because this is like something I really like to do. Like, I love doing this. It's crazy. And one of the reasons I like doing it is because I get to talk to people, but still be in my own little, you know, circle. But real quick, Ben, I'm going to answer your question. So one thing I've been doing, I'm on vacation. I go back to work on Friday. For those who don't know, I work the weekends. And so I'm excited to get back to work. I've had a lot of time off, and I'm updating this thing on my laptop. Sorry. And so, all right. But with all that being said, I've been streaming. My grandmother's birthday is in 2 days. Happy birthday, Grandma. Some bad news. So, for those of you who don't know, you guys know that you now know that I DJ, or used to DJ, and you guys have probably heard that I have lots of music, and I have hard drives, and the hard drives I have are 3 terabytes, and so I have 4 different sets of hard drives. All those hard drives are backed up. So I have a hard drive with 3 terabytes of music. I have that backed up. I have another hard drive with 3 terabytes of music. And so basically I have about 10.5 terabytes worth of music, all backed up. So technically 20 terabytes of music, but it's 10 of it is original and the other 10 is a backup. So I have them labeled. One set of hard drives was 1 through 3. The other was 4, 5, 6. The other was 7, 8, 9. The other's 10, 11, 12. The 10, 11, 12, it's not even half full. So that's why there's only like 10 terabytes. But the hard drive that's 4, 5, and 6, you guys might be able to shed some light on this. So you guys know external storage. You may not know unless you have external storage and if you bought external storage, but some of them require you to plug them in the wall. So you plug it into a computer, but it also requires power to be plugged into the wall. The reason it does that, a variety of reasons, but one of the main reasons is it puts less stress on your computer. And if something were to happen, it become unplugged, usually having a wall outlet or being wall powered, it's less likely to get damaged. Well, you know, these power cables have amps and voltage and all that other stuff. And to make a long story short is I not only fried the power supply to power these hard drives, but I made it to where the data was damaged. So before I knew it was damaged, I took it to a PC shop. Yeah, I took it to a PC shop. I didn't know I would need a data recovery service. Putting the cart before the horse here, but in the best case scenario, they would just need to change out the power supply. It cost me $20, and there's a lot of music on here, thousands of dollars worth of music. That doesn't mean I paid thousands of dollars. That's a story for another day. But so yeah, so it not only would power up anymore, but when I would plug it in, this before I took it to the PC shop, I could smell it. It smelled like plastic burning, and I was like, fuck. So I was like, okay, I'll wake up tomorrow, take it to the PC shop. They'll put it into a new enclosure, and I'll have all my data. Take it to the PC shop at 9 in the morning, 12 noon. He calls me, leaves a voice message. This is what he says, no joke. He's like, yeah, man, your hard drives are fried. They're fried. He says as soon as he plugs them into his computer, it shuts his entire computer off. Which I found out later through doing research that he's not doing something right. It's not supposed... No, that... It's supposed to do that. That doesn't necessarily mean my data is not corrupted. But because he's a local PC shop and not a data recovery service, they don't do that. You know, because a data recovery service has like a dust-free white glove room, a room you go into, and there's no dust, no nothing, and that's how they fix these data drives that have corrupt data. So I called this data recovery service. You guys know I'm in Florida, and they told me how much it would be. Now, mind you, I have thousands of dollars worth of music on these things, so I don't want to spend $1,000, but it's really not that much when you compare the value of the music, because the music you can't obtain anymore. The music was sold on websites. It's like remixes and edits and mashups that you just cannot find anymore. And so I called this data recovery service, and I was like, hey, how much? You know, like, well, we got to analyze it, but we'll check it out for free, no charge, and we'll pay for shipping. And I said, well, what if you guys analyze it and I don't want to get it fixed? He says, well, then we'll send it back. And so I said, well, there's nothing to lose there. And even if they did charge me $50, that would be fine. But I sent them out, and so tomorrow or the next day I should be hearing back. But just to give you guys an idea, so these are because they're 3 terabytes, obviously that's more money to fix if I need to get them fixed than say a 500 gigabyte or something like that. But he's like, okay, well, based on what you're explaining to me, and it could be in numerous different things. There's like numerous different ways drives can be corrupt. And so depending on what was wrong is depending on what they need to do. But anywhere from 500 to 2800. And I about dropped my phone on the floor. In the street, I mean, when he told me that. But then listen. Then he was like, based on what you're saying, it's probably going to be half or less than half. And the reason I say that is because there's a difference. Now, again, that doesn't mean it's not going to be more or whatever. But there's a difference between your hard drive data being physically damaged, meaning like, say, it's smashed, that sort of thing, and the hard drive being damaged in the way I damaged it. And just so you guys were wondering, I don't know if I made this clear, it got damaged because me being an idiot, I didn't realize that when you plug something in, you have to have, some of the numbers have to match. Like the voltage doesn't necessarily have to match exactly, but the amps do. Or no, the amps can be higher. If the amps are lower, and I think, what is it, voltage, amps, and watts. So voltage isn't so much a big deal, but amps is a huge thing. And so if it's more amps, it's okay. If it's less amps, it's not okay. And there's something else in there, but basically I used the wrong power cable. Crazy enough, the guy at the PC shop told me that if it's less amps, you're good. If it's more amps, you're bad. Well, the data recovery guy on the phone told me it's the total opposite. Well, I think, now correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not an engineer, I'm not an electrician, but I think voltage, isn't voltage amps times watts? No, not something. One of those is like the product of, right? You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Okay, I probably have it wrong, but it's something along those lines, right? Okay. Well, the guy at the PC, just so you guys know, when I ask a question and people say, "Why don't you use Google?" Why don't I use Google? The guy at the PC shop, what he told me was literally the opposite of what the truth is. You know, he told me that your amps had to be, he's told me that your amps, if your amps are higher, that's bad, but if it's lower, it's fine. Then the guy at the data recovery service told me the opposite was true. So it's, yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I know I probably wasn't clear on that, but I just wanted to share that. It's the one thing kind of on the back of my mind. Resistance. So watts doesn't have nothing to do with that. Correct? Oh, and I didn't know this too. Here, this is something that you guys might want to learn. Check this out. So hold up for a second, Ben. I don't know why it's taking me guilty gear, but now this is gonna sound like a stupid comment, but that is that the voltage of a battery, of a car battery? Okay. Yeah. So to put that in perspective, I want to say the cables I was using were about 2 volts, maybe 1.5 volts, maybe a little bit more. No, but I wanted to show you something. So you know how, let me see if I can find this. It's better to show you this than to try to explain it. So I made a post on this subreddit called Data Hoarder. But I wanted to show you guys this. This guy showed me. And it's so, I'm telling you, you would learn something from this post. What this guy commented. Let me see if I can find it. Alright, so here's the one thing. This is what a picture of one of the cables for the drives that I fried that I needed. So he says, they all say this. Input is 100 through 240 volts. They all say this, 50 to 60 hertz. This is where they differ. The amps, the output. Okay, so I was wrong. He says the 5 volt has to be correct. The numbers ending with A can be more, and that's okay. That stands for amps. This is what I wanted to show you. So this right here. So you know how when you plug in something like a, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a 3.5. I don't know how to explain it. I want to see if I can pull this up. I don't know how to explain this part of this cable. Okay, yeah, like, okay, where's it at? Nope, that's not it. All right, this right here. I don't know what you call this, but this right here. So this right here, I don't know what the description is or how to describe that type of input. But and then this goes into like a little, like a 3.5. I don't even know how to explain it. But anyways, this is negative and positive. I don't know. I'm explaining it stupid. I'm sorry, guys. I was just trying to. I'm bad at explaining stuff. Man, my bad, man. I'm sorry. I'm trying to just. I don't know. I just. I just get so excited that I learned something I wanted to share. I just get stressed out and frustrated. Well, not all the time. Because it's a little, because there's a little pin. This part goes into a little pin, which is part of the actual drive. And I say that because I wanted to show you this. So the tip, this represents, I don't know what type of that cable, what is it? I don't know what type of, the name of that end of that cable. I don't know what that's called, but that's what this represents. This right here, the tip positive, tip negative, that's in relation to the tip that goes inside that connector. And, or inside that, again, I don't even know what you would call that. But this, I guess, I'm not going to try to exactly explain it, but they have to match up. And what I mean match up is, I'm not certain if the positive has to be positive or the negative has to be matched up with negative, or if it's like a magnet where you want positive and negative together. So I don't know. I wish I knew how to explain that better, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel good. I'm in a good mood. I just get frustrated a little bit. You know, I know I'm not that good with talking and stuff. I just, Sorry, guys. I don't mean to get frustrated, man. Like, I don't understand. Like, it doesn't really. Whether if I Google that, will something pop up? Because I would like to know that. Because the reason I say that is because I want to say the cables I have don't say this stuff. Like, they don't say this information. Like, they don't even have a plus or negative. And so holy shit. Oh, there's your batteries, brother. That's exactly what they were saying on that Reddit post. And the point I was making is now whenever I have something that has a power table, because here's how I messed up. Like most people, I have a bin full of cables. Over my break, I separated those cables. USB-C cables, micro and mini USB and everything else. Audio cables like 1/4 inch, things that would go into a speaker that's not powered, that would go into an amp for my DJ stuff. XLR cables, you guys would know what those are. Those also go into speakers that don't have an amp built in. And then I have my power cables. So I literally have a bag / bin of just power cables. Everything from a power cable to power, like an Apple brick, to a power cable that would power my my Beats by Dre little mini boombox thing I had, to something that would power my router. And these are all old power cables. And so I just wanted to share that with you. And like I said, I need to get better at me explaining. And the reason I say that is because I don't know if Kyle's still here or Ben, probably not, but I say all that because one of the things why I was getting frustrated with it is I went through the first steps to start my own YouTube video. And so I'm doing a YouTube video and I'm really serious about it. And really serious. I got the program. I got a guy going to help me with edits. He's actually going to show me how to do things so I can actually do it myself. But he's an awesome guy, man. He's from Alabama. But his daughter died earlier last year. Last year she died. I forgot what she died from, but this dude's awesome. And one of the things that I've been debating is, like, you know, even though I paid him money to help me, this guy's daughter, and I forgot how old his daughter was, but she passed. And that bothers me because I feel like I shouldn't worry about him helping me. He made it clear that he still wanted to help me. But I met him a few years ago. And we met, and when I was initially interested in making videos, he told me a program to buy. I bought it. He told me he'd help me. And for about the first couple of years, you know, I was dealing with a bunch of stuff. I was working. I was still on second shift, and basically I never got around to doing it. And then ironically, like around, I guess, October, November, I started to express interest that I wanted to do this. And we only talk about this type of stuff. Like, I don't even have his phone number. Like, we talk over Facebook. And he's a very reliable person. But I decided to check his feed, just kind of see what he does, because he's really good with, like, videos and stuff. But I was just kind of curious as to, like, other stuff he does. And I found out his daughter passed. And this is not something he shared with me when it happened. I don't expect him to share it with me. But I want to say that happened maybe around September, October. And then I remember I sent him a message before I knew that. And, you know, his daughter was only like 4 or 5 years old, I believe. And I remember I sent him, maybe it was like 6 or 7, but I sent him a message. And then that's when I went through his feed. And I found out his daughter passed. And it's from like something cancerous, and I felt really bad. And so that's one thing that I've kind of been debating throughout this whole time is, you know, I don't want to say he's over it, but we've been talking about, we don't talk about that. Like, he knows that I know, because I sent him a really nice message from a professional to a professional in terms of, like, how we know each other and how we communicate. And I told him I really felt for him, and, you know, I explained to him that, you know, you don't have to help me, it's all good, man, you know, and try to do everything I could just to let him know that, hey, I really was feeling for him, and I understood. And I also was apologizing because I went like 2 years before I actually approached him about wanting to make the video. And I apologize for that. And, you know, I waited for a while because I guess I wasn't motivated at the time, and I was dealing with some stuff. But he's a really awesome guy, and so I'm at like the first step of putting together my YouTube video, and this is all my research that I've done, and I got about 10 pages of writing. So I'm excited for this. This is something I really want to do. It's a topic that I don't want to say I'm passionate about, but something I really want to talk about. Part of the reason I chose the topic of what I did choose is I wanted to talk about something that I feel passionate about, so it's going to be about gaming. But I also wanted to have a topic that would be somewhat on the simpler side of doing a video on. And I say that because, like, something that has some sort of timeline, something that has a kind of like a compare and contrast sort of thing, as opposed to just doing a YouTube video like I saw a YouTube video the other day titled "Difficulty in Video Games Bothers Me." And not necessarily the title itself, but the type of video you would have to structure for that, because there's really no, you know, you necessarily won't have a timeline. You know, it's basically like an essay of sorts in words. Kind of what most YouTube videos are when they talk about things, is basically an essay in words. And really, for my first video, I didn't think I could handle something like that, just because I have zero editing experience and I have no idea kind of where I would even begin. And so I just wanted to share with you guys that I'm doing that. It's something I'm really passionate about, and it's something that, between doing that and the streaming and going back to work and then hopefully getting my music back, I'm really nervous about what they're going to tell me tomorrow. I'm gonna get the drives fixed. I'm gonna have to, at least one of them. But I'm kind of like a little pissed off at myself. Yeah. So honestly, if it's anything under 1,000, that's gonna be really good. But honestly, the reason I say there's thousands and thousands of dollars worth of music on there, real quick. So I used to buy music from websites. I would buy a zip file, sometimes just one song, for like $2 or $3. Now this is back in 2007 through 2012. But I used to buy all this music, and sometimes I'd buy a song, sometimes I'd buy a zip file, and the zip file would have like a clean version, which is a radio safe version, a dirty version, explicit version, and then it would have like a short version, a longer version, sometimes a different intro. And so I just spent a lot of money on music. Now, the part that I have thousands of dollars worth of music, but I didn't spend thousands of dollars. You've probably seen these or heard of them. But there used to be, they're probably still around, but what they would do is there used to be a ton of websites to buy music from. Either you pay per song or you subscribe to the blog and you can download as much as you want. Now, obviously, the sites where you can download as much as you want, that content's not going to be as good as when you're just buying per song. Let's get real here. Who would spend $2 for a song when they can get the exact same thing by spending $25 a month and download all they want? Which is actually very cheap when you think about it. Because we're talking, you have hundreds of different songs from different genres. But there would be people who, what they would do is they would go around to all these sites and they would buy everything, or pretty close to everything. They'd spend, $3,000-$4,000, and there's always new content coming out, just like on YouTube. But there's always new music, new DJs, new producers making new stuff, new remixes, stuff like that. And they would just buy everything, or buy as much as they could. And what they would do is they would take all this music and break it up and put it in zip files. And so they would zip it. So this zip file might have 1,000 songs, maybe not that many, but like 300 songs. This one might have 400. And what was cool with this site is he would make a track list. So it would be a zip file of like 400 songs. He'd have this long track list. And I don't know if anybody ever saw this type of website. I don't know. It used to be basically the cheap way to do a site. So let's see if I can. All right, that's not a good. But it's basically like, think of a website without all the flash, without all the bells and whistles. And you used to be able to create one for free. Google, they call it. This is blogger.com, but anyways, he would have the text listing all the songs of the zip file. Then he'd have the zip file below it, the link. And you guys probably heard of these sites: Mega Upload, Media Share, Mediafire, File Factory. I don't know, Savage, if those ring a bell at all. Those are basically sites where people could upload stuff for free and share a link. This was before like bots, and before like you could upload something to the cloud and save it and share it. People just uploaded something for free, and obviously there were limits unless you paid for premium, but this guy paid for premium. And anyways, he's spending all this money on music. You're probably thinking, why'd he do this? He would have guys like me, like you. What we would do is we would pay him $25 a month. So I pay him $25, you pay him $25, 10 other DJs would pay him $25. Everybody would pay him $20. Usually it was 20, sometimes 25. And so you can probably see where this is going. So if he has, say he has 300 times 25, how much is that? 300 times 25, is that 750? Well, how much is that? 300 people at $25 a person? That's 7,000, right? No. Yeah, 750. But he had more. Anyways, he had more than that. And so he had all these people giving him $25, and we would pay. And he would use that money, and obviously he was making some money, but he would use that money and buy more music. And so it was a revolving door of like, we pay him a little bit, and then he would buy songs. Like, instead of that song being sold 25 times, it was sold one time, and then he'd upload it. So the producers and the people who ran those sites, they hated this guy. And there was sometimes a negative stigma to it. especially if I met a DJ who DJ'd, but he also used to make remixes for some of these sites, or make edits, or make a redrum. And yeah, I just wanted to share it with you guys. You know, when I say thousands of dollars worth of music, you're like, how the hell you spend thousands of dollars worth of music? And so I just wanted to share that with you. And crazy enough, when I type in blogger.com, I haven't been part of his blog for a long time. I don't think I've paid him anything for about 4 years, just because I don't DJ right now, and I thought it would be kind of pointless. Because basically, that's how I got 10 terabytes full of music. Just to give you guys an idea, you know, 10 terabytes is a lot of music. And it's all music. There's some MP4s on there, but almost all of them are MP3 files. And if you looked at the dates here, you can see what I'm talking about. This was in my prime when I was downloading. And I don't know. See, oh, that's why. Okay. I had to hit the I. But yeah, so like different sites he would upload. See? This is how it was. So this, like, just to give you an idea, he would this is the track list for this. It's called a remix service, i12 inch. Kind of a weird name to name a remix service, but you can see what type of different, when I say why would you buy one song with different types of edits. You know, some of them would be like an acapella intro, some of them would be an 8-bar intro, some of them would be clean or dirty. You know, obviously not every DJ plays at a club. You know, some of them play, you know, they play day events, or they play events where there's people who aren't 18, or even like church events. You know, they have DJs too, so obviously you don't want to play music that is not exactly, you know, kid friendly. But anyways, I appreciate you guys being understanding. And one of the reasons I get upset sometimes when I'm explaining something is I don't mean to go into a tangent, but one of the goals I made to myself is, I made this goal about a month ago. I want to get better at not only talking, but how I explain stuff, and like how I don't rattle on, and most importantly that I speak clearly. And so when I was looking for the polarity of that picture, I get a little over like frustrated sometimes, because I'm like, I just feel like I'm going on a tangent and people don't want to listen to me talk anymore. And I just want you guys to know what it means to me to have you guys part of the community, man. It really means a lot. And one of the things that will never change is, I know you guys are busy and doing stuff, and just remember that whether you talk in the stream, or you hang out, or you're busy, I don't really care about that. What I care about the most is that you guys enjoy it being here, being part of the community. And I can't tell you like what it means to me, Savage, like when you just subscribe to me, and people think, well, it's just one subscriber. Because people tell me that. They're like, why do you feel so good about one subscriber? I'll tell you why. Because I don't need the money. And it's one of those things that money can't buy, you know? You can't buy somebody who truly wants to be part of the community. You can't. You can buy people who want to be a part of your community for some other reason. Yeah, you can buy tons of those people. But people who truly love being here, I just want you guys to know what that means, man. And especially you, Savage, you're one of the few people, and this isn't a knock to the people that I've done stuff for and I bought stuff for, but you're one of the few people that love being here and have just been a genuine person, man. And again, it's not a knock to the people who I've done stuff for, because sometimes I think to myself, you know, I've done stuff for people here. I just want those people to know that I never regret doing stuff for them, but there's a part of me that's like, I just hope that when they're here, they like being here. And if they don't like being here, they tell me they don't like being here. I'm not going to be mad at them. Somebody comes to the stream and say, hey man, I'm only here for the free shit. You think I'm going to be mad at you for that? No. No, I won't be mad at you. I will not. There's people here who are like that. I would be mad if you pretended you liked to be here and you didn't. I would be mad at that. That's because when I say mad, that's not something I want, man. You know? And I say that because that's how I am sometimes. I can't attend people's streams and support them the way I want to because I normally don't have the time. You know, I work 4 or 5 days a week, so sometimes all I can do is sub to somebody, donate, subscribe, you know, show them that I care by helping them out with something, you know. So I just want you guys to know what you guys mean to me, man. And again, one of the things I want to do is I want to get better at explaining stuff and be better with my vocabulary. I think I'm getting a little bit better, but I think I have a long ways to go. And so I just want to say thank you to Ben and thank you to Kyle and Savage, and I just want you guys to know what you mean to me. And there's another person in this community. There's Zoe. He's another person. This guy, I don't even know. The only thing I know about that guy is he knows, I mean, what he likes to do, and he likes to write poetry. But he reminds me of you, Savage, that he's a very supportive, straight up. He doesn't care about anything other than being here. And I just want you to know that. No problem. I go back to work this weekend. Maybe in the next month or so we can maybe talk gaming or play a game or something like that. There's a couple of good games coming out, but hey, just stop by and every now and then and let me know how things are going, man. I know you're trying to kind of move up and get a different job somewhere. I think that was the goal, is like just get in somewhere and then maybe move and try to get a job somewhere else. But I just want you to know I think about you, man. I thought you said there was a job you really wanted to do, right? Oh, you do like it, okay. Maybe I misheard. I thought there was like you kind of just got in wherever, but I didn't know you liked it like that. That's awesome, man. Well, hey, you have a good day, have a good week, have a good weekend, and we'll touch base, man. And thank you so much, man. Oh, have you moved up yet? Or are you still doing the same thing? You still driving? Oh, that's awesome, man. Because I remember right away you were just driving the cars in and out and kind of being a wingman. Well, that's not a good way, but no, I know you gotta go, man. Dude, that's awesome, man. Man, that's like the most important part. I should have asked that. I didn't think you'd get promoted so soon, man. That's awesome, dude. And you're gonna get promoted again, man. Keep me posted, man. Be safe. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. If I don't talk to you before summer starts, have a good start to the summer. And oh, dang. So wait a minute, real quick. So you weren't even in that original position for very long, were you? Because I remember we were talking about that. Actually, that makes sense, because I remember we were talking about buying your tools. That makes sense. I guess I didn't put two to two together, but I remember we were talking about, you got to buy your own tools or use their tools. And anyways, I don't want to keep you, man. I know what it's like to have a long day. Have a good night. And like I said, if I don't talk to you before the start of summer, oh man. Hey, I'll say this too when it comes to tools. My dad, I tell you, he has so many tools, but he spent so much money on tools, and the craziest thing is he has so many tools in the garage that he would know if something was missing. And I don't know if you're like that, but I think that's insane, because my dad has a garage with his unfinished Corvette, and he has thousands and thousands of dollars of tools. And if I use a wrench or a screwdriver, and that's like the most basic tool, he'd know where it is. Even though, I mean, he knows something's missing. And I find that, I don't want to say hilarious, but I find that that's a good skill to have. You know, so anyways, you have a good night, brother. And thank you so much for stopping by. And yeah, if I don't talk to you before summer, have a good before the start of summer. I'm sure I'll talk to you during summer, but have a good one. And just remember, I'm working on the weekends, so if I stream, it will be during the week. And usually not Monday, because usually I work on Mondays, Friday through Monday. But I just had last week of vacation. Hey, that's all good, man. If you just stop by the Discord or the stream, and even just you saying, hey man, I've been busy working, even if you don't do that, that's fine. But I just want you to know that's enough for me, man. Okay, so that's what's up. In 1 week? You did that in 1 week, brother. If you work 12... What? That's got to be 2 weeks. You can't do 20... You can't do 106 hours in 4 days. What do you mean book time? Oh, you mean travel time? Is that what book? Oh. Wait. Oh, studying. I'm not even gonna try to guess. When I think book time, I think studying. That's probably wrong. Oh. Dang. Do you still charge the people for 10 hours worth of work though? Or are you not allowed to share that information? Oh, you do? Well, I guess that makes sense, because if it takes 5 hours, yeah, I guess that makes sense, because if it takes 5 hours for them to do something, but you guys work harder, that doesn't mean you guys should get less money. So that makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. Real quick before you go, do you guys work? I'm just kind of trying to understand this. Do you guys work together on stuff? Like, or is it kind of like this is your thing? Or do you guys help each other out, or is it kind of like, this is your stuff? Oh, you work, okay. So that's the ultimate end goal, right? A master tech. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Real quick, so where I work at the warehouse, we have this third-party service that unloads trucks, and they changed it to where if this person unloads a truck, they get paid for it. I asked you about the help because they have a system now where if I'm doing a truck and I'm going to get paid for it, I'm going to get paid per truck to unload, per trailer, but I need help to get it done quicker. Sometimes they don't want to ask for help, and you're probably like, why is that? Well, do you want the whole pie or do you want half of the pie? So it's good that you don't have to, that it doesn't add, that it's not like that, because I think that's one of the most messed up systems that a company could ever have. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this person needs to unload this trailer in 3 hours, or say 2 hours. They're not going to make it if they want to have some quality with it. But Joe Blow on the side, you don't want to ask him to help you because you don't want to split the money. But, real quick, you could think of it like this. Okay, if someone helps me, we split the money. What does that mean? Well, that means we can do another trailer, split the money. You know, is it like, do I do one trailer for 1 hour, or do one trailer for 2 hours, or have help and do 2 trailers for an hour and a half? So, anyways, I know you gotta go, brother. I always love it when you stop by, man. But yeah, keep me posted. And that is awesome, dude. Keep me posted on everything you're doing. And I know, real quick, when you're not working, do you still follow Airsoft? Like, do you follow like new gear that comes out and new stuff, or not really? Or is it kind of something you just don't have much time for anymore? Is it, do you find yourself being more, okay, are you still interested in it? I'm just curious. Is it something that still interests you, or kind of, okay. Because, real quick, it is an industry that always has new stuff coming out, right? Like, there's always new guns, new gear, new stuff. Like, there's always new stuff coming out, right? Because since I've met you, I actually, every now and then, I'll Google, like, airsoft and things like that. Because I think I told you this. I know people who are into paintball. And that was, last time I was into paintball was like 10, 15 years ago. But every now and then I'll look up airsoft because I remember we talked about it. And I actually find it more fascinating because I find it's closer to actual firing a real gun than, say, paintball. Especially when you showed me your gear, and I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would have. Well, actually, I didn't know any better. I thought your airsoft gun looked like a real weapon. So, what are you? Are you driving a project car, or is it something that you just? You probably told me, and I apologize if I forgot. Oh. Are you adding to your car to make it more, I don't want to say, more enjoyable? Oh, you got a new car. Oh. I remember you told me what you drove, but I forgot what it was. But I remember you told me. I remember we talked about that. I can't remember. Was it a... I'm not gonna even try yes. I can't remember if it was a Honda Civic. No, I'm not even gonna try yes. Forget I said that. Hey, I just said that. I just said that. Hey. You heard it, right? You heard it. Come on. You know hey. See, you heard it, man. I was like, oh, is it a Honda Civic? No, it's not. Forget I said that. Damn, dude. Oh, stick shift. Let me guess. You like the stitch shift, right? Well, I'm telling you, you're gonna like the stitch shift till you want to eat some fries and have a soda while you're driving, though. That has to. Hey, I'm not knocking manual shift, but that has to be probably the most inconvenient thing about driving a manual. Would you agree? Come on, be real. Is it? Well, that's good. Do you even drink, yeah? So, yeah. Dude, that's awesome, man. But I will say this. I don't know much about cars, but I know just from reading about it, you obviously get better gas mileage. And I'm guessing that's the main... And then you can... Not saying you do this, but when you have a stitch shift, you can drive more... You can do... This is going to sound silly, but... You can do burnouts easier, right? I know that sounds stupid. Maybe it's not burnouts, but you have more control over your... Okay. I don't think I've read that anywhere. I just would... Whenever I would see people driving manual shifts and they would, you know, be driving their car, I guess, recklessly, it just seemed like they had a little more control than, say, an automatic. Oh, okay. I think I told you this real quick before you go. I worked with a guy, and now he drives like a Honda or what, but I think I told you. Yeah, I think I told you this. I worked with a guy who drove a, not an Acura, but an Audi. And he drove an Audi, and I believe it was automatic shift. And you'd fall out of your seat if I told you what he paid per month for his car. Yeah, I think we talked about this, because remember we talked about how when you get the brakes done on some of those newer cars, you're not just getting the brakes done. Like, you have to get the whole system done. And I think we talked about that, and then we were talking about tires. And I remember, because at the time I was driving my minivan, And I didn't like that minivan at all, but I liked it, the fact that it was paid off. And I remember when he told me his car payment and everything he did for his car, new tires, new brakes, everything costed like 4 times as much. Yeah, that's exactly why he traded it in. He said it was a nice car, but dude, the payment was like $600-700. It was crazy, man. And I always thought to myself, is an Audi at the same level as a BMW? Is that in the same class as a BMW or a Mercedes? Or you would say no. Because I know they're not exactly... They don't... Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like, they don't exactly seem to be in the same upper echelon with someone like a Mercedes or a BMW. But they do look like a very luxurious car. I want to say he drove a... I think it was a normal four-door. It wasn't nothing, no convertible or drop top, but it was nice. I want to say it was all black. And I forgot what he said, but I do remember when he told me he had to get his brakes done. I remember when he told me he had to get his brakes done, and he told me how much it was. And I about spit out my soda. No joke, man. I want to say, I think to get my brakes done on my van was like $400, $300. And I think to get his tires done, it was like $300 per tire. And that's just tires, but to get his brakes done, because he told me he had to do all this other stuff to it. They just don't change the brakes. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And then they told me too, like when something goes wrong on the car, like it's just much more expensive. Because here we have small auto shops that work on cars. But around here, usually, if they don't say they work on imports, they don't work on imports. So the only other option is to take it to the dealership. Now, I've always known that when you take something to the dealership, they're probably going to do it the right way, but it's also going to be much more expensive than if you find a small dealer who, you know, a smaller shop that knows what they're doing, but maybe don't have so much overhead. But his options were limited as opposed to like me when I could, you know, if I needed something done, I can shop around a little bit. Yeah, that it doesn't matter the car either, right? Someone brings a car that's 10 years old, it's going to be the same price. Here, you can answer this. Do you guys around here in Florida, if your car's old enough, you can get a license plate that says antique. Do you guys have like a drop off of how old of a car you can work on? Like if it's older than 20 years, where you guys still work on it? If there's parts for it? I always wonder that, because like the whole thing with like here in Florida, if you drive an old enough car, it has a license plate that will have the word antique on it. And I don't know the specs, but I do know that it's not just for show. There's a meaning behind it, and you know it may not need to meet the same standards as a newer vehicle. But where I take my car, they don't work on really, really old cars. I forgot the range, but they don't work. If your car is really old, they won't work on it. The one good thing I will say about my van is it drove the really, really small tractor-sized tires. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but you know, the really small tires. And I remember when I bent up my rim, it was actually hard to find that rim because it was so small. Outside of that though, whenever I needed a part, it was like awesome, because every plate, because what would happen is if I needed a part, it was one of those vans that the shop could call the junkyard and get one at the junkyard. Like, you know, they wouldn't have to buy new. I could get a part from the junkyard, and it was cheaper for me. And it was like, hey, that was cool. You know, I really liked that, because there were, I guess, a lot of those vans around, and It's just the parts. I don't know if they're interchangeable, but I remember in my van, like, it was a 99 that sometimes, like, if something went wrong, a van of the same make and model between like 96 or 2001, the part would fit. I didn't need an exact part that was the exact same year. Oh. Oh, that okay. So you wanted to use the part. You wanted them to supply you with a part to make sure that when you fixed his vehicle and you put another the same part but some from somewhere else in there, that it would fix the problem. Kind of like, okay, hey, this fits the problem. Now we got to go order the part. Right? Well, so when you use that part, oh, okay. So hold up, when you used it, oh, okay, I see. So you wanted to use from Toyota, I see. So you didn't spend all the time and money finding the part only to realize that it wouldn't fix the problem in the car. But yeah, you might run into a conundrum where, say, Toyota gave you that part and it worked and it solved the problem. But you might run into the conundrum where you might not be able to find one. Like you just said, you might have to call Toyota back, be like, hey, we need that part. But oh, okay. Hey, real quick, on newer cars, so like for instance on your car, 2024, would a same make and model 2023, are some of the parts interchangeable, or is it almost like you have to have the exact year? Oh, same thing. That's nice. Oh, really? So it's kind of like maybe give or take like 3 years. In the last 3 years, everything will work with a car that's been made within that range. I know that's just a random amount, but not your car? So you have to find basically a 2024 Acura, same make and model. Oh, I see. Okay. Now, real quick, maybe for mechanical stuff, but say for like fuses, that's different, right? Radio, steering wheel, like stuff that isn't exactly mechanical. Oh, okay. Wait, what's the same car? Your Acura and your Civic? Really? I guess when I think Civic, I think something that's a little more... See, I guess when I think Civic, I think something a little more compact than an Acura, but maybe it's not all, maybe they're not all like that. When I think Civic, I guess right when I think Civic, I think like Fast and the Furious type cars, you know, those size that are smaller. And when I think Acura, now obviously I'm not picturing this correctly, but when I think Acura, I think more of a four-door. Oh. I did not know that. You mean fancy in terms of the inside? Nicer seats? Nicer, bigger, like nicer, just kind of everything inside is nicer than outside. So, real quick. I know you gotta go. Real quick, I want to ask you this question. I saw this question on Reddit. It said, what is one vehicle add-on that you can't live without? Vehicle option that you can't live without. I did not know this. I did not know that automatic doors and locks. I did not know that that is still an option today. Now, I'm sure it's probably the default option, but somebody in the Reddit comment saying that it's still extra if you want powered doors and windows, powered locks and windows. And I thought to myself that that guy has to be lying. But someone said that you can get a newer car and have a manual thing for your door, a crank for your door, for your window, and locks that are manual. I was like, no way, dude. That's crazy. And what's crazy about that is not so much that you can get something older, but the fact that they still charge for that add-on. Now it's probably in the price of a car already. It's not like they're gonna say, hey, you know, but it is cheaper to get the manual windows and locks. That was wild to me. But I was looking at what the people were saying, and before you go, what is one thing that you don't think you could live without in a car? The one optional add-on that you would have to have in a car that you don't think you can live without. Because me personally, I've never driven a new car, so I'm used to having nothing. So I don't think there's anything really. Though I do wish I had a better radio. And the only reason I don't want to put nothing in my Honda CR-V is I'm worried I'd spend like $3,000 on a radio and then it'd go to shit. And yeah, I can't just take out. Dude, I kid you not. I kid you not. If you go back to a stream from 2 weeks ago, I was thinking about going on a road trip. And Ben from the UK, he was telling me that there's this thing that you can plug in your car's cigarette lighter and it will automatically Bluetooth your phone and play through your speakers. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because I told him, I said I wanted to rent a car and I want it to have Apple Play. But he told me all you got to do is plug this thing into your car lighter. You have to have a car lighter. You don't need no wires. And it will play through your car speakers. And I guess I was confused because I don't understand how that works. How can, like what? I was like, how the hell does that work? Like, I don't understand. No tape deck, like in the back in the day. No wire. And I'm thinking to myself, and he's like, yeah, all you gotta do is plug it into the car light. And I'm thinking to myself, what does the car lighter have anything to do with it? And then I told myself, some of the newer vehicles don't have ashtrays, so they probably don't have car lighters either. They have probably USB, I'm guessing, right? Do the newer cars have car lighters? Or like, is it mainly like where a car lighter would go, but just to plug in and charge your car? Or do some of the newer ones come with USB-C built in? USB? So, the ones that come with USB... Damn, dude. You gotta stop talking about that, man, because you're making my car seem ancient. Because one of the things I've been debating is if I wanted a newer car. And on a car that doesn't have wireless or Apple Play or Android Auto... How do people play their phones through the speakers? Do they just, is it Bluetooth? Is that basically what they use? Or is there a wired option? Bluetooth? See? Man. Do you, real quick, does your Apple Wireless, is it built? Do you have a built-in system, or did you get a different system added in? That's Diabetic. We were just talking about this. So there's a guy named Ben. He was telling me that there's this plug you can plug into your cigarette lighter, and it will Bluetooth my phone to my speakers. No tape deck, no auxiliary cable. And I told myself, I'm like, that's crazy. I don't know how that works. But then he said something about a radio station, and so I got confused. Because I was going to go on a road trip during my vacation, and I was debating whether to rent a car or keep my car because I want to listen to the radio, and I don't want to wear headphones in the car. And so I thought about renting a car, you know, something cheap for about a week. And he told me that if I could get this thing off Amazon for like $20, and it would play my car, it would allow me to play my phone music on my phone and go through the speakers on my 2008 Honda CR-V. LA. That's awesome, Savage. Oh, so the phone has to connect to the phone has to connect to that thing. It's not, there has to be a physical connection between the phone and the thing that's in the cigarette lighter, or that would make sense. Now it's still kind of weird, but I guess I just get confused with how that thing gets plugged into the lighter socket, and how that, I can see it connecting to my phone, but how that connects to the speakers in my car. It's crazy. Anyways, Savage is just heading out, man. Hey, Savage, Diabetter here, he was helping me play. I was playing some Elden Ring a couple weeks ago, and he was being really supportive, man. So this is Savage. He's been in the community for a minute, man. Good dude, man. He's a mechanic, and one of the most loyal people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. So he's a good person to know. His job is to work on cars. Anyways, I don't want to keep you, man, but I appreciate you stopping by, like always. So I got a few more days of vacation, but I know you got a long day tomorrow, man. I don't want to keep you. I know we're talking there, and I didn't want to keep you, 'cause I know what it's like to, you know, but I'm feeling pretty good, man. I got a lot on my mind. See you later, Savage. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. You too, man. What up, Diabetter? What are you up to, man? How you been, man? I do want to say thank you so much for the times you've come out and hung out with me, and I know sometimes you've probably lurked or probably stopped by, and I just want to say that if you ever see me kind of acting strange or weird, I struggle with anxiety sometimes, and so sometimes it's definitely, I'm going to say a prayer for you. Oh, real quick, Savage, what do you notice different about the stream? Come on. What do you notice different? There it is. That was stupid. I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. No, that was stupid. That was a dumb idea. Alright, have a good night, man. Don't work too hard. I'm doing pretty good. I go back to work in a few days, and so I've been gaming. I've been working. Actually, I've been working on my YouTube video. So I'm doing a YouTube video on the history of the You're just like me, brother. You're just like me, man. Dude, that's awesome, man. Now, not like that. I'm not the top guy in my position, but I love working hard, man. When I'm at work, I just work, man. And I feel like I'm being productive. And not just that, but I just feel like because there was a large part of my life where I didn't have a normal job. So the consistency and routine of having a normal job, I just love that. It makes, one of the things is I like working, and obviously I like the money, but what it does is when I'm not working, it makes my free time that much sweeter. Oh yeah, I mean, how do you think, dude, if it wasn't for overtime, I wouldn't have half this shit. When I work overtime, I make close to $30 an hour. My dad told me the other day, no, here's what my dad told me the other day. He's like, man, you got it made. I said, Dad, what are you talking about? He's like, man, you ain't got no kids. You ain't married. You're single. My dad's like, you got it made. No kids that I know of, anyways. I didn't say that. Anyways. Have a good night, brother. And you'll be promoted next time you talk to me. And hopefully next time you stop by, we'll try to figure out something, play something, man. Even if it's just to play something. But hey, Diabetter, I know you're kind of new to the community. Do you mind sharing what you do? For real, definitely. Have a good week, and I'll definitely see you. And thank you for the sub, brother. You don't know what that means to me. Well, I think you do know what it means, but I just want to say thank you. Have a good night. So, Diabetter, I know you're kind of new. Do you mind enlightening me on, if you don't tell me what you do, like what industry you work in? I don't know if you're okay with sharing that information. Oh, okay. You know, a lot of people may not know, some of the newer people, but I wasn't always this streamer who had everything paid for. You know, I am not a streamer who has all his bills paid for and all that type of stuff. Like, I actually, people may not know this, but I used to work at a gas station, and I used to work at a place called Home Depot. And that was when I was getting over my addiction with drugs and alcohol. And before that, I used to DJ, but I wasn't making that much money, and I actually was living a life that was destroying my life. And so I share that because some people see me as this guy who streams and video games, and why I love doing that, and I love it, and I have a strong passion for it. I'm not the type that just expect to get everything handed to me by just sitting and playing video games, if that makes sense. Like, I love going to work, which is weird because not a lot of people can relate to that. But, you know, I kind of work my way up, and even though I have a degree, I won't bore you with this, but I went to college and I got a bachelor's degree in sports management. And people say, well, how come you're not doing that? Well, there's a few reasons, but one of the things is sometimes you don't know where life takes you. And just because I have a degree in that doesn't necessarily mean I work in a town where that's exactly something that is plentiful. And also, too, I think one thing people seem to forget is, and this is one of the biggest things I've realized when it comes to working a job you really like a dream job. A dream job necessarily doesn't come with dream pay. And I forgot who told me that, but that is so true. And I say that because if I worked in sports management doing tickets and marketing for like a college team or like a professional team, I mean, it's something that I will end up doing at some point. But in terms of monetary gains and, you know, financial stability, I would be some of these people that I see on my Facebook who can't afford to pay all their bills, and no thank you. Dude, it's crazy you say that. Dude, you know nothing about me, but how'd you know that that is actually something I looked into at one point? Now, when I looked into that, I wasn't finished with my degree yet, and this was in 2010, so esports wasn't as popular as it is now. But it is something I've wanted to get into. But I'll say this too. Over the last few years, I have thought about that, but I told myself, you know what? I might want to keep it separate, and I'll tell you why. One of the things I've always told myself if I get a degree in something is I want to have a degree in something that I like, but I also want to find an industry that I like that has nothing to do with my degree. No, you're right. But I always told myself the last thing I want to do, like for instance, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but like developers. All right, with all these developers getting laid off and fired and let go and job cuts, I've always looked back and said, you know what? If I worked in an industry and it wasn't going so well, or say I moved to a city where I had to move or had to move back home, and maybe there wasn't an opportunity to work in my industry, I always wanted to have something on the back burner that I really love to do. And like I work in warehouse operations. I work at Dollar General. Everybody knows that in this community. I love it. I love working in it. And there's just some sort of satisfaction knowing that I have a degree in this, but my current job is in that. But then I also have something over here that I like to do that I haven't been doing as much. I don't know if I mentioned to you, but I used to DJ a lot. Now, I never made a ton of money doing it because I wasn't smart, but it was some of the best times I ever had in my life. And I don't know how much fun I don't know, like your leisure life. I don't know if you feel like you've had a lot of fun. I don't know if you want to share that, if you feel like you could have more fun or you need more fun, but I say that because honestly, I could tell you that I think I've had enough fun in my life. There was a period of about 6 or 7 years. Yeah, I have an answer for that. But there's a period of about 6 or 7 years when I would DJ every weekend. And if I wasn't DJing, I'd go out every single weekend. And that's all I did was go out. And I had that fear of missing out. Yeah. Have you ever been, would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert? But and back to what I was saying, when I did that, I was really, mentally, I was in a bad state. Because I got into a car wreck in 2009, and I messed up my arm, messed up my finger, and that was the start of me getting prescribed pain pills, and then that was a downhill disaster that just snowballed from there. And I got into drinking and drugs, and luckily I made it out, but that was after I graduated. And while I was DJing and making some money, I wasn't in the mind frame of this is going to be a professional thing. I'm going to do this for long term. It was almost like I wanted to hold on to the party card for as long as I could. And then the other side of my mind was telling me, you know what? I want to be responsible, and I want to get a job in sports, but I want to party. And with what I was doing, there's no way you can do both. But because my mind was so clouded and jacked up from drinking and partying and doing street drugs, and granted, I never done nothing too harsh, but it was like in terms of ideas, I wanted to do the right thing, but in terms of execution and in my mental state, like I just wasn't in a frame of mind to be able to do that. But now you fast forward here, in like what you said, why do you have a degree in something that you're not using exactly? And I think the answer to that question is, I think that if I was in a better, because I did internships after I graduated, and I feel like that if I didn't get into the whole party scene, into the drugs, from 2010 to 2014, I may have a job in sports, a full-time job. But I guess I've always wanted to have kind of something in my back pocket. And I've always been, I don't know why, I've always wanted to learn a different industry that had nothing to do with what I went to school for, just so I know that I can have a choice. Yeah. You're just like me, man. I used to be this huge extrovert. And let me explain what type of extrovert I was. So I would love to go out and be around people, but I never wanted to have close connections with people. So one of the things I didn't like to do a lot of times, I never liked to go places with a group. Why is that? I think when I first started doing that, even in high school, I didn't have friends, but after high school, there were situations where I was with a group of people, and say the group didn't want to do something, well, we didn't do it. You know, if you're with a group of people and they don't want to do something, you're not going to go to that restaurant. You're not going to go to that party. And there was something about that that's like, oh, fuck no. I don't want to do that. If I'm with a group of people and they don't want to do something, but I do, I mean, why do I, come on. Just because we're in a group, but that's kind of odd. You can't do that, You can't be in a group of 6 people and they want to go over here, but you want to go over here. I guess you could, but a lot of times that just doesn't work out. It's like you're with the group, you hang out with the group. So you kind of do what the group does. I like going out and doing my own thing. I love interacting with people. Now, mind you, at this time, I was at the peak of my opioid use. And when I mean peak, I don't mean the amount of drugs I used to take, but it was giving me that cloud 9 feeling. Do you know what that is? I'm not being sarcastic, but you kind of probably know what that is, right? Kind of like the first high type of deal. And it was when I would take this stuff, and I was only taking, at the time, I'd take 1 pill. And it would give me this feeling of like euphoria. And yeah. And almost like, think of it like this. Think of it like a high, but just in the fact that you feel good. You don't feel fucked up. Your stomach's not hurting. You don't feel hungry. You feel to be chitty chatter. All you want to do is talk. All you want to do is talk to people. Now you feel good when you're alone in your apartment or whatever, your home. But when you're out, you can't stop yourself from talking. You have to talk to somebody, and the person you're talking to, they don't know that you're on something. They might, but you're not like, it's not like you're rattling your teeth. It's not like you're doing anything weird or anything that's like a red flag, unless somebody may have a family member or a friend who did the same thing and they know about that. But you just, I'd go to the restaurant and I'd be chit-chattering to the waitress, whatever, to the, to get my phone fixed, and I'd be talking about, I talk so much that we're talking about something that has nothing to do with the subject at hand. So when I was going out, I loved to do that. Over time, I learned to control that a little better. So if I saw you, say I saw you, and say we were at the, say you were in the restaurant sitting down, just you, and I ordered something, and I've seen that you were playing, I don't know, a handheld video game or something. I'll try to kind of relate it to how I am now. I would be talking to you, and we'd be talking, but I would probably, I'd mention something about the game. But as we're talking, it was clear that, one, either I'm a very lonely person and I just keep talking, or 2, I have so much on my mind and I don't have people to talk to, that between the initial topic about the video game, we drift off and I start talking about something else. And the one bad thing about this, I'm not going to say there's anything bad about talking to somebody, but the one bad thing is I want to talk so much that I don't even want to listen. I'll just keep talking and talking and talking. So some people, that's their personality. You know, their personality is to talk, talk, talk. You know, no, because I don't let you talk. I'll talk and then you'll try to say something and then I'll probably interrupt you. Not in a disrespectful way. It's just that I have this feel-good feeling going on and all I want to do is talk, talk, talk. You know what I'm saying? It's like... Isn't it crazy that you say that and like I start to think to myself, am I talking too much? No, I'm just playing. But no. So that would be, yeah, it's not like a serious problem, but in terms of me talking to you, it's going to get to a point where you're probably like, man, I can't even say anything. So I'm just kind of listening. Some people love to listen, but it's like you say, a conversation might have to go, both ways. But when I would go out, I loved, after that part died down and after I was still addicted to these pills, I would love to go places where there's a lot of people. I just loved going places where there's a lot of people. Because I knew I was going solo, so I didn't have to ask somebody else to see if they wanted to go. I didn't have to worry about anybody else. I could just go and have fun. And I liked it because, why do you think I liked it? Because I had the opportunity to meet different types of people. Say I meet you and you just don't want to talk to somebody like me. I'm not going to take it personal. I mean, I might, but there's other people here. Going to the small, chill bars or going to the small, chill places, that wasn't my thing. I would go to a bar with the worst drink specials, with the crappiest music. Or bar is not exactly the best example, but I would go to a place that maybe I wouldn't like, but I would just go because there's a ton of people. But here's the kicker with that. I would love to interact with people and talk to people, but as soon as the conversation was more so like more personal, meaning, hey, what's up? How you doing? Why you here? What do you like to do? After those initial questions, I didn't want to like sit down and just talk to people because I felt like there's people out there I can meet. I don't want to spend all my time with one person. And I know it seems really selfish, but that's how I was when I was extroverted. I just like to do my own thing and be around people. I love doing things not around people, but I like being around crowds. I just like doing that. I think I kind of looked at it like if I'm around a crowd, it's a better opportunity. You never know who you're going to meet, sort of thing, It's crazy because it's literally the opposite when someone sees a bar full of people and they avoid it. Or like a place that has tons of, like I used to like that. And I think because one of the reasons is I never had to think to myself, man, if I'm with somebody, we might lose each other. This might not be a good place to go. Nah, I ain't got that, so it's just me. What am I gonna lose myself? A little Eminem reference right there. But anyways, that's exactly it. I wish that's exactly it. And it wasn't because I didn't. It's not like all these people that I would start talking to after I would meet them. Man, I don't really like that person. I don't really like that person. I don't really like. It wasn't like that. It was just that. I guess the best way to explain it is exactly what you said, but it was almost like a fear of missing out. Like, why spend 1 hour with one person when I could meet more people, And I don't know if I would consider it like a skill, but a lot of times I'd meet people, and I don't know if it was alcohol or if people just felt comfortable. You know how many people I would have in my phone? We would talk for a few minutes. And then they would have to go, I would have to go, and they'd say, hey, let's change numbers. Now, I'm not saying I had this skill where everybody liked me. I'm not saying that, because I know that's not the case. And I don't know if a lot of people are like that, but there's a lot of people I would talk to, Say we won't even talk to, some people were like, we talked for 15, 20 minutes. And some of these people, mind you, when I say we talk for 15, 20 minutes, hey, what's up? How are you doing? Okay, we're not continuously having a conversation for 15 or 20 minutes. You know, and I keep using the bar reference because usually that's where I would go, but we would talk and then say they'd be with their girlfriend or with their friends, and then maybe I would be doing my thing, then a couple minutes later I'd ask them a question. You know, it's not like we're having a direct 20-minute consistent conversation. You know, like I meet them and then maybe I go dance with a girl or something like that, or go to the bathroom or go walk somewhere and then I'd see them again, you know, that sort of thing. But I meet these people and it was like, you know, I don't know why, because long term it was a really weird idea because there was no long term. You think this person that I got their phone number from and they got my phone number and we swapped phone numbers, you think that person, first of all, is probably going to remember me? They might. But here's the thing, even if they do remember me, why would I call them on a different day? Because more likely than not, they're visiting, I'm visiting, we probably don't live next to each other. We don't know anything personal about one another. You know, and again, some people, and I never was like this, but there's certain people who love to keep the people they meet when they're drunk away from the people they are with when they're sober. You might know somebody who's like that. I know a few people who are. When I would DJ a lot, even just recently, there's people I would know when I would DJ and party. But I'm not saying during the day if I saw these people they would be mean, but they were a different character than if I saw them during the day. You know, it's like when we're drinking, when we're high, hey, that's a whole set of friends you have. During the day when everything's chill and calm and we're talking about different things, a lot of people I knew didn't want to associate with me at that time. And what I mean by that is they never called me. You know, they weren't rude to me, but they just never called me. Yeah. You want to know something else I've learned? Is, I don't know if this is common, like where you're at, but some of the nicest people I've found were people that were there with their girlfriends. And I'm not saying that their girl like me, none of that stuff, but some of the nicest people I've met were usually there with like a date or a girlfriend. And I don't know how to explain that. I don't know if maybe they've spent so much time together that it's nice to meet somebody else, you know, to put in the conversation. You know, it's like you can only talk to one person for so long, you know, especially if you've been in a relationship for a while. I don't know the reason behind it, but I usually found that to be pretty cool. Like, and I wasn't talking to them to get to know their girl, none of that stuff. It was just some of the nicest guys I've met were usually there with like another guy, but they both had girlfriends, or like the one had girlfriend. It was just it seems like those people were some of the most pleasant when introducing myself and just being friendly. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain that. It was just a good experience, as opposed to kind of meeting, say, a group of guys that were together who didn't know me. Because there were times, hey guys, what's up? Not very many, but there were times I go up to a group of guys, hey guys, what's up? And they either look at me like, who am I? Or even say, hey, who are you? And then I always had this mindset whenever I go to the bar. The point of going out is to meet new people. And it took me a while to realize that that's not why everybody goes out. But for the longest, that was my thinking. People go out to meet new people. Now, I'm sure some of that had the drinking and drugs have something to do with it, but I always used to think that. You know, and it's not always like that. Some people just want to hang out with the people they know before they went out. You know, if they were in a house before they came to the bar with 8 people, those 8 people is what they want to hang out with, you know. But for the longest, I used to think that maybe, you know, why don't you want to go out to meet new people? No, you're right. One thing I've realized too, when I would meet people or when I would see different people interact, this is another thing I never could get. I guess maybe it's just because of my personality and I never really understood it. But there are people who sit at home and say they want to go out on a Friday night. And, you know, you probably know this, and usually it's girls, but there's guys like this. They have to go out with some people. They cannot just go out to a bar or club. Most of the time, I don't think I've met a lot of random guys who just went out by themselves. A lot of people just don't feel comfortable doing that. But the point I'm trying to make is that there are people who will want to go out and they don't find anybody. And you know what they'll say the next day? Like, I've heard people say this. Hey, man, what'd you do last night? I didn't go out. No. Hey, what'd you do last night? Well, I didn't really go out. And Dad's like, well, why not? Because I couldn't find somebody to go out with. And to me, that's blasphemy. To me, that's just like, I could never think like that. So I'm going to sit at home and do nothing? Because nobody wants to do anything? To me, that was very hard to comprehend. And I want to say, I really like sharing this with you and getting your point of view, man. It's exceptionally interesting because, first of all, you're respectful. You know about me, how I like to game. But also, too, that I just want you to know that it means a lot to me. And I think I told you this. This is my social time. I don't have a social circle outside of streaming. Between work, eating, and gaming, or streaming, I don't have a group of friends out there. I have people who are my acquaintances and stuff like that. But to me, this is gaming, streaming, my social time all wrapped into one. I have people I interact with, but I don't have a lot of people that I would consider close friends, you know? Would you... Here, I'm going to go use the restroom. Think of this before you answer. If there's something you really wanted to do, and let's eliminate the idea that you bought a ticket for something. Now, if you bought a $100 ticket for a concert, you're going to go regardless if you have people to go to. More likely because you don't want that $100 ticket to go to waste. So, ignore that instance. But is there any time where, and let's just say locally, so let's not pretend you're traveling somewhere and you're somewhere you'll never be for a long time. Let's say locally you want to go out to, and try to think of it, would you do it if there was or wasn't alcohol? Because that's another thing I would realize, and we all know this, when it comes to socializing at events with no alcohol, I'm not saying people are just more social with alcohol. That's obviously true, but some people are just a different person entirely. And some people, it's easier for them to go to a bar or club that serves alcohol than a venue that doesn't by themselves. But would you go somewhere by yourself if you really wanted to do something? And say it was something that you could do next weekend. So you have another opportunity to try to find somebody. But say you called around and you couldn't find anybody, would you still go out by yourself? With or without alcohol involved? Now, let's preface this. You say you want to go out to drink by yourself. Now we gotta distinguish something. Going to sit at a bar while the jukebox plays music and there's 12 people in the bar and the bartender looks like she's had better days. That's different than going to a bar with 100 people. You got some DJ rocking it. There's so many people. There's people there where, you may not like the amount of people, but you're not going to be singled out as somebody who's by himself. That's it. That's one thing I've realized too. When I would go, you would never catch me going to a bar of like 10 people. That's the local bar, strong drinks. Because I know if I went in there, people would know I'm by myself, and I know the stigma that has. So maybe that's why I like to go into places where there was people, because it was hard for people to tell if I was there alone, you know? Same here. Love going to movies by myself. And you know the irony with that? Going to movies by yourself? You want to know the irony with going to the movies by yourself? What do you do when you go see a movie? Or what do you not do? You don't talk to somebody. I read your last comment. Yeah. So it's almost like it's weird. People go to the movies with people. That's why going on a first date, movies is the worst idea. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. And I'm not going to give you dating advice because I'm single. But I read your comment. I read your comment about the smaller gatherings in quiet places. And it's funny, right when that popped up, you know what I was thinking about? Right when that popped up, I said to myself, man, I love big ass places with tons of people. It's almost like, if ever there could be two opposites in this world. If ever there could be two opposites in this world, nothing could be more opposite than the person who likes small gatherings. I just find that hilarious because I picture you typing this and thinking to yourself, fuck that. I like small gatherings, quiet places. And I'm talking about going to a tailgate where a guy is upside down drinking a keg and everybody's cheering him on. I don't know why I find that funny. One of the things I really love to do is I love football tailgates. I love college football. Always loved it. And I think it's kind of like when you think about the type of person I am, it makes sense. I'm a sports fan, and I love to go out and meet people. Shit, what's better than a football tailgate? And what's better than a football tailgate is a college football tailgate. And you say, well, why is that? Well, first of all, being around college age people when I'm recently graduated, first of all, it's a lot easier to meet people than going to a parking lot of a pro sports team. But also, it's like, this is going to sound really irresponsible, but I guess I love the disorganization of an event that is a college football tailgate. And when I say tailgate, a college football tailgate, there's college campuses that I used to DJ, and they would have student housing homes. So these are houses, not apartments. But they would line the streets, and it would be walking distance to the stadium. So you can imagine what this is like. Let me show you real quick. I want to show you something real quick because you're being really I just want to say, talking to you like this is, I like this, man. I'm not going to go in some diatribe about why I'm not social, and I think a lot of it's because of my, because I no longer just do some of the same things I do. But like I used to go out and talk to people but not have deep conversations with people. Right now, the thing I really like to do is I like to be in my own safe space. But how we're talking now, I love this, man. Like, I just want you to know that. Hey, man, you ever been with an older woman? It's not that bad. Alright, that's disgusting, right? I'm just playing. I'm messing around. I'm playing. Not that old. She give you the AARP membership. I've been with some older women. Hey, the good thing is they know what they want, man. Let me see. Hold on. I want to show you this real quick. I've never showed this to anybody, but I really would like to show you this if I could. Oh, shoot. Oh, man. Jeez. Dude, this is some of the most fun I've ever had just talking in a really long time. I just want you to know that. So, oh my lord. This is so crazy, dude. This is bringing back memories. I've never looked in this. So, just to give you an idea, oh my god. Oh my god. I wish I would take, I took pictures like I did back in the day, like I do now. I want to show you something real quick. So, alright, it's not gonna do it. So you see these tailgates. These are some of the one of the colleges I used to DJ at for a fraternity. I would DJ, and the reason I'm showing you this house right here, this brings back so many memories. Let's see something. Oh my lord, I didn't know I could do this. Hold up, hold up. This was the year I was DJing. 2007 to 2009. I lived in Michigan before I moved to Florida. This house right here, I used to DJ at. I would set up my equipment right on the balcony. Right here. I would set up my equipment right on this balcony. And is that the same house? And it just, I know it's really weird why I'm talking about this, but I just want you to know it's kind of bringing back some memories. And I don't know why I decided to pull that up, but we were talking about partying and stuff, and I thought to myself, you know what? Google Maps is pretty cool. But I used to play right on here, and I don't know. I've never shared that with anybody. And it's been like 15 years since I did that. And it's crazy how much I've grown. You know what's even weird when I think about that? You want to know what's weird when I think about that? I didn't get my car wrecked until 2010. So I didn't get on pills and stuff till 2011. Or, yeah, halfway through 2010. Because I ended up moving to Florida 2011, November. It's really weird to think about how my mindset was back then. Because I was a single guy, I was in college. Because this is University of Michigan. This is where I went to college.
Okay.
So this is Central Michigan University is where I went to school. And I would drive. I don't mean to bore you, brother. I never shared this with anybody. I would drive like 2 hours. That's exactly what I was getting at. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Die better. Your comment was really. I'm sorry. It really made me emotional reading that. Well, because it's just making me emotional reading that because I never thought of it like that. I loved to party and I wasn't on drugs. The things I would give up to be like that. Again. Or at least have a mindset that it's so hard to think how was my mindset like that, you know? I'm not asking you to answer that. It's just you just said it. I love to party my ass off and I wasn't on nothing. I didn't smoke weed. Every now and then do like maybe an Adderall or two. But I remember I would go to this house, so I would DJ at like either Central Michigan or sometimes Michigan State for a football game that was on a Friday night, or say like for instance, say this game was on Saturday morning, I would come here on a Friday night, stay in their house. And you know what I would DJ for? I was known as the guy who DJ'd for a fifth and a pack of cigarettes. Now you're probably thinking, man, you must have sucked ass DJing, and I did. I wasn't good. Do you know how many people had me come DJ their party? They would give me gas money. Everything was paid for. So basically, I was getting paid to party. It was only a little bit, but I didn't have friends. And now it kind of makes sense. I didn't have friends. But I had these random people who knew that I was legit, who knew I had this DJ equipment, who knew I wasn't going to pay them, charge them $200, $300, or $400. And when I would tell them, yeah, you give me 2 packs of cigarettes and a fifth, I'm down. You know some of the memories I've had that I would never change for nothing? You know what I'm saying? It sounds funny, but I'm telling you, I would never go back on that. Because I'm going to tell you, if I was a DJ who was charging $300, $400, $500, how many times do you think I'd be DJing? Exactly. And that was my mindset all the time. Because I knew I wasn't that good. I just wasn't. Now, why I wasn't that good? It's debated. At the time, I didn't have real DJ equipment. This is what I used to DJ. Now, this is a cool thing. You know, I don't know if you know anything about music, but you can clearly see that it's synonymous or similar to two turntables. But somebody who uses that, what I'm using, somebody who uses what I just showed you, and somebody who does something like this person has more skill than me. This person definitely has more money invested. Yeah. You've probably seen these. If not in real life, you've seen them in a movie or something. The actual turntables. Obviously, they don't use real records. But the thing on top of this imitates a record. So they can have their laptop. See where like right here. They can have their laptop play the music. And this simulates a 45. So they can do all the cool scratching techniques, which are very, very hard to do. But instead of having to carry around a milk crate full of thousands and thousands of records, all their music is in the computer. And so they don't have to take off the 45 or the I forgot what they called that, but this part that's on the turntable. So it's essentially like you get all the benefits of mixing on a turntable without having to spend all the money for vinyl. But when I use this, where was that? When I would use this, you can't do the same thing with this. You can do some pretty cool things with this. This is, this is actually a really cool setup. But the point was I love music and I love partying. And what better setup to have than to DJ and party, but also get the opportunity to do what I love, which is DJ for a crowd and meet new people. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people never understood that. They used to tell me all the time, why don't you charge money? Well, you want to know why? If I charge money, what would I be doing? I'd be sitting at home. And as funny as that sounds, that's the truth. And so I told myself, I don't want to miss out on that opportunity. I want to have fun. Because I looked at DJing as fun. I didn't look at it as work. Kind of what we said earlier, I looked at it as I loved it. Yeah, definitely. You want to know something else too? Like, a lot of guys who DJ, I don't know how many weddings or how many events you've been to that maybe aren't a club or a party or a tailgate. And back then I could never fathom this, but a lot of times DJs don't drink. Even if they're responsible. Some events allow them to. But a lot of guys, especially if they're at a setting that doesn't have alcohol, but even if it does have alcohol, a lot of times it's faux pas for the DJ to have any alcohol. Even if they're responsible, even if they're, it's just not, the professionalism isn't there. And 15 years ago, I don't know if I could tell you I could do that. God, it's so weird saying that 15 years ago. Holy shit. But when you said that comment up there, I might frame that. I'm serious. That really shrunk everything down for me. That's true. Nope. Hey. But on the other side of the coin, bartenders get paid to do a job. You ever been to a bar where the patron buys a shot and tells the bartender, hey, take one with me? But no, you're right. Bartender might be the only exception to that rule. It's almost like they want you to take the shot to make sure you didn't lace it with anything bad. It's like, if I'm drinking it, you gotta drink it. No, I'm just playing. But I want you to know, man, this has been an awesome conversation, man. You're right. Or they're good at hiding their alcohol. Because back in the day, if I took 3 shots of Rumplemints or 3 shots of tequila, yeah, and then you mix that in with some rum and coke on the side, yeah. Diabetter, I'm gonna be real with you. You probably would beat my ass if you saw me. Cause you'd be like, who the fuck is that guy? And I don't know why, but I picture you as some guy who don't put up with shit, and you're probably about 4 times my size, so could be wrong, but I just picture that. Who's this guy? Wouldn't that be weird? You'd be like, man, I'm gonna beat you down. 15 years ago, you see me in the stream. Hey, man, what's up? Hey, man, what's up? I'm just playing. No, man, well, don't worry. One of my best friends growing up. Actually, you might have. I don't know if you've seen him in one of the streams. His name's Alex. He was a really big guy. So used to having big friends. I've always been the skinniest out of everybody I knew. Yeah. Probably about the same age as me. Actually, might be younger. But I just want to say I really enjoyed this, man. What do you say? I'm gonna go. You see, I was so excited, man. Where are you from exactly? I forget. I don't want to guess because I feel like if I'm wrong, I have an idea, but I forgot exactly where you say you're from, or if you told me, or if you're comfortable telling me. I know you're from somewhere that's not the U.S., but I didn't know if you feel comfortable sharing. Oh, you are in the U.S. Okay. I don't know why I thought you were an international. Are you an international? Like, are you originally from the U.S.? I don't know why I thought you weren't. I'm sorry about that. I thought you were from. I don't know why. Because a lot of people in my community are international, like never been to the U.S. and they act just like you. Some of the people not from the U.S. and never been are some of the most supportive people I've ever met in my life. Not to mention, I've met them while streaming, and it's some of the one guy who who's so supportive and probably just somebody who's been so understanding of my anxiety and depression is from the Middle East, never been to the U.S. And yeah. Anyways, I don't know why. I just thought that maybe you weren't originally from the U.S. I respect that. Yeah. He's from the Middle East, never been to the U.S. And if he told you his job description, he sounds like his job is in tech. And when he told me he was from the Middle East, and when he told me he's involved in computers, you know the first thing I thought about? I thought about, you're the person I talk to when I'm calling Microsoft support. It was funnier when I said it, but I thought to myself, I didn't say that, but I thought to myself, oh man, this is the guy that be pissing me off when I be trying to get my computer fixed or get a warranty claim. Middle East, loves computers. Now he's somebody who I would do anything for. This guy, his name is Grams. He now has a full-time job, but when I first met him, here's a cool story about how I met this guy. It's New Year's Eve 2021 or 2022. So, I'm done with my partying days. And so I'm on YouTube, and I never stream YouTube. I never browse YouTube for streams. It's just something I don't do. It's just, I'm either gaming or streaming or watching YouTube videos, but I never watch live streams on YouTube. I mean, I would have probably you or somebody I knew was up there, but it's just not something I do. So there's this game called Ready or Not, and I think it just released, but it was in beta at this time. And you probably heard of it. It's one of those like realistic shooter games, kind of like Ground Branch or something like Squad, where it's like a team-based SWAT style shooter that tries to be as realistic as possible as a game like that can be. And so I go into this chat, and this is something it's so weird thinking about it because I've never done this. I go in this chat and I'm watching these guys play this game. And there's this guy in the chat, and you've seen this on Reddit, YouTube. Hey guys, anybody mind sharing with me $5 so I can get a game? And most people laugh at that. They tell him to shut up. And I'm so glad I did not respond like that. Because it's like, oh man, you got somebody begging for money. That's the last thing you want to read in a chat. And It was New Year's Eve. And as I tell you this, it makes my heart warm just thinking about how this played out. Because this guy's been one of the biggest supporters of my entire community. Sorry. This guy would... When I was really at the worst part of my life, I would be streaming and telling people I don't want to be alive anymore. And I hate myself. And this guy would stay in my stream. He'd say, man, I love you, brother. But let me tell you how we met. So you probably see where this is going. This guy wanted $5 to buy a game. And I said, man, I'll help you, man. I'll give you $5. And I told him to message me. I think he messaged me on Discord. And he messaged me. And he was like, hey, man. I'm sorry. This guy's as close to family as you can get without being family. And I said, yeah, man, I'll help you out. I'm sorry. I get emotional. I said, yeah, man, I'll help you out. I said, here. I forgot how I sent it to him. I think I PayPal'd him $10 or $15. I said, here, man, just enjoy the game. This guy was so happy. He was so happy. And it really puts things in perspective because it realizes how selfish I can be. I'm sorry. It realizes how selfish and ungrateful I can be. This guy was happy that I spent $15. And this is at a time when I was using this stuff called Kratom. And when $15, I just spend it. At the time, I think my family was kind of helping me with different things. But it's like, I was so immune to, I don't want to say I was totally immune to money, but I would never get that excited if somebody let me borrow $15. I mean, I never would ask money for people, but you know what I'm saying? You know, I think at the time, too, I just got my computer set up, and so I was buying a keyboard I probably didn't need, buying a mouse I didn't need. I mean, I was working hard for it, but I was buying stuff definitely a little more money than I could or needed to spend. And he was so happy. And I told him, I said, hey, man. Oh, I'm sorry, man. It makes me feel good thinking about this. I would probably fly on a plane to this guy if he asked me to. Now, I'm not a rich person, but I'd find a way to do that. But he wanted to follow me on Twitch. And I said, no. I said, I don't want you to follow me. Hey, what up, Zyphon? I'm sharing with Die Better here how I met Grams. And it just gets me emotional. So he said he wanted to follow me on Twitch. No, he said, do you stream? And I said, yeah. He's like, what's your Twitch? I said, don't follow me on that. I don't want somebody to follow me because I did something nice for him. I don't want somebody I don't want that. I don't share my Discord with them. I share my Discord username, obviously, but I didn't share my community. I didn't share my Facebook because I told him, I was like, I just want to do this to be nice to people, to be kind to somebody. I don't want you to be in the community because, I don't want people to join because I help them. I don't want that. I want people in the community who just want to be here, I don't care about likes and subs and shares. I just want people to be part of the community. And he ended up finding my Twitter or my Twitch, and he joined. And obviously, I'm not gonna say no. So he came to a couple of streams, and Zyphon was in the community too, actually, believe it or not. Zyphon was one of the first people as well in the community. And he came to the streams, and I said, "Hey, what's up, Brams?" And he was so excited to come to the streams. But you know how people who stream, they want those people in their community who are like engaging and talking to people. Somebody random would come to the stream, he would share my Discord. It was almost like, dude, this is crazy. And I thought to myself, man, he's just doing this to, and I appreciate it, but it's like, I hope he really likes to be here, And over time, there were times when I was so down, I was struggling so hard that I would just totally sabotage my stream and say, I hate myself, I'm a loser and a failure. And I don't have an answer of why I would do that, but I did that. And this guy would come to my streams, and because he lived on the other side of the world, he would hang out when it was late night. It was daylight for him. You know what I'm saying? So it actually worked out good because I worked second shift. So on my days off, I would play from like 11 at night to 4 in the morning. So that was perfect for him because it was like, I think it was like 8 hours or 9 hours behind. And anyways, long story short, he always came in, and it was just crazy. It's just like he showed me pictures of himself. I mean, he was just in a nice way, but it was just like this guy became a friend. This guy became a friend, This guy's from the Middle East. He never came to the U.S., and he was and I ended up buying him like 2 games over time. He didn't have a lot of money. Now he works, but at the time he didn't. And the way he was so gracious and so nice, it's like, and I would do that with anybody. But I remember he would never ask for anything. And I remember there were times when he never asked. He was always respectful. But you could tell, like, we'd be playing a game and he'd say, man, I'm trying, he wouldn't even say I'm trying to get a game. He'd just say, yeah, I would get it, but I just can't. And he was genuine when he was sharing that stuff. And I bought him Elden Ring, and I think I bought him like 2 other games. I think initially he did want like $10 for a game, but I think I bought him an entire game. Anyways, long story short is he actually turned into somebody that I really respect. And I always get, the reason I get emotional when I talk about that is not so much because he's my friend and I respect him, and now he works his ass off and he's a great person. But he's one of the few people who I've met that must have read me or thought I was a good person, because he shared with me the type of person he is. And on those late nights when I was just having a really bad stream, and it happened so often, sometimes I just start streaming and start putting myself down, and I don't know why. I was just a broken person, and I was just struggling really bad. Hence the hashtag mental health you see on my streams. I was just, And I used to say sometimes, man, I'm sorry. It just gets so emotional because he's about as best friend as you can get. He's a better friend than some people I see all the time. But he sorry. He used to tell me in chat, he's like, don't worry, man, I'll never leave you. And I share that with you because do you know what it's like? I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but when I'm working a lot
and I have money. Again, not rich, but I have money for these basic things: headphones, phone, computer, PlayStation controller. I have these things. Sometimes I forget about how grateful I really am to have these things. And the fact that somebody not only wants to be in my stream, but tells me that he's not going to block me or mute me or think different of me because of the struggles I was dealing with. I'm sorry. I know I'm a pussy for being like this, but I don't care. It just makes things that much sweeter when you realize that money can't buy everything, you know? And maybe it was the time that I met him. You know, maybe if I met him at a different time, it wouldn't mean so much, but it really was nice because there have been people in my community who left because they told me they said, we wish the best for you, but you're too negative. When I would have these tough streams, they would leave. And I can't hate them for that. But they've expressed that when they go on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook and they come hang out, they don't want to hear about my problems. They don't want to hear about what's going on in life. They don't care about that. And that's okay, because that doesn't make them a bad person. Some people view streams to escape from reality. They don't come to streams to get a dose of it. And so I never hated them for that. If anything, I hated myself because I told myself I've always wanted to be upfront and honest about the type of person I am, but sometimes I forget that there needs to be a balance between real life and fantasy, you know? People don't want to come view a stream about somebody who's just going to put himself down and talk about his real life issues. Some people, like the people in the community like Zyphon and Zoe and you, they might view it differently. And one thing I've always told people is the way I am now, I'm not like that because I want to be different, per se. But the way I am now, when I talk about my issues and problems, it's something that I've always wanted to be open about. And I don't do it for views or for people to seem like, man, that guy's a really open guy. I do it because I just want people who are in the community to know the type of person I am. Because I know a lot of people on Twitch, you know, when they stream, they play a different character than they are in real life, you know? That's almost everything. And so a lot of people in social media, you know, they're just different on social media. They're different in the stream than they are in real life. And yeah. You ain't lying about that. And I always like to look at when people are like that, there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes people are so different on a stream, it's like, how can you expect to get people to be loyal to you if they don't even know the real you? You know what I'm saying? A lot of these streamers, they want loyal people, but it's like, we don't even know who you are. I mean, we know who you are now, you know, because every streamer wants those people who, like, wants to be in their community and wants to engage all their followers and wants to come to the stream and donate, and, you know, and that's awesome. But maybe I don't get it, but I just find it challenging to find people that are loyal to you if you can't be who you are in real life, you know? Yeah. But I also, with that being said, I do want to look at times when there's room for improvement, you know? Because being genuine is not necessarily the same as putting yourself down all the time, and that's a problem I have. And I get into that cycle where I don't mean to. I just, and I'm not in that cycle now, but I'd be playing, and Zyphon knows, I would be playing, and all of a sudden I get tripped up on the keybinds, or I get like overly frustrated, and instead of just trying to take a break or take a breather or trying to figure it out, I just throw in the towel and just turn a disaster into a catastrophe. Yeah. I don't know. This is and this is gonna sound weird to you, and anybody who's lurking, they probably have no clue why I would say this, but this is probably one of the best streams I've had. I know I've said that about a few streams, but it's up there. There's about 6 or 7 streams that have been impactful, and this is one of them. You know how many games I played? Exactly. I think what it is, and I'm not making excuses for it because there are no excuses, but just trying to figure out, maybe I don't think I have a 100% answer. I think one of it is, and this may not make sense, but this is what I think. Because I don't get a lot of time to play or game, whenever I play a game or stream, I want to enjoy myself and have fun. And one of the things that I know I don't have a lot of is time, because I gotta go back to work, I gotta sleep, I gotta eat. So sometimes I'll be playing, and one of the bad things about not playing consistently is I'd have to go over the keybinds and get a refresher. And Zyphon will tell you, there'd be times when I'd spend like 20 minutes trying to figure out the keybinds, you know, especially like a game like Tarkov or Cyberpunk. It may not seem like it would take that long, but when you haven't played for 3 weeks, you got to not only remember the keys, but you got to remember too, every time I game, I stream. So there's not times when I'm not streaming that I'm gaming. Point of saying that is I don't have a bunch of it just because I've had my PC for 4 years. I've probably only played, I don't know, maybe 3,000 hours on my PC. That's not a lot in 4 years. Most people have probably done that in 3 months. You know? And so I would get tripped up on that, and instead of taking a break, and what I would do is I'll be streaming, it'd be like 1 in the morning, and one of the biggest things that I've tried to overcome is I love to be up late. I love staying up late. But I'm conflicted because I also love to wake up in the morning. I love it. I love waking up in the morning. But I would tell myself, it'd be 2 in the morning, I'm gaming, and I know, okay, I'm going to play this game. Now I got to get a refresher on everything I'm doing. And there's a part of me that would almost feel devastated because it's like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get a refresher on the keybinds and get into a groove without in the back of my mind thinking to myself, I don't want to be up when the sun comes up. And so it was like I love the nighttime. Like right now, this is when I feel most awake or most like energetic in myself. But there's a part of me that if I don't wake up early enough, it kind of has a damper on my mood. At this point in time, I'm not thinking about it, but probably about an hour or two, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I kind of want to try to go to bed so I can wake up early. Because for some reason, if I wake up at 9 in the morning, it has a different impact on my whole day than if I wake up at 1. It just does. And so I think sometimes I would just get so overwhelmed with that because not only did I wake up, go to bed late and everything, I don't have every day to play. Yeah. Like right now, I'm probably making one of the most cardinal sins that I've always been doing for my whole vacation, but I've been doing it lately, even when I wasn't on vacation, is eating late. I truly believe eating late keeps you up. I feel like when you eat at midnight, like I'm about to do, I feel like that's one of the reasons why it's hard for me to go to sleep at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. And so, but here's the other thing. You probably heard people who can't sleep because they're hungry. And so there's a conundrum there. It's like, okay, you know, do I just eat a little bit? And so, but
with that being said, well, luckily, if I can eat now and eat by midnight, that means I don't go to sleep till 2. I can deal with that. There's also a huge difference. I don't know if you feel this way. There's also a huge difference between going to bed at 2 in the morning and going to bed at 4:30, 5 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just 3 hours. It seems to be a bigger than that. Kind of like the difference between going to bed at 11 and 2. You know, it seems like 3 hours? No. It's almost like going to bed at 11 and waking up at 7 is 8 hours. Yeah. Going to bed at 3 and waking up at 11, or let's use 5 as an example. Going to bed at 5 and waking up at 1, that's 8 hours too. But that's a different set of 8 hours. It's easier to go to bed at 11, wake up at 7. It's much more challenging to go to bed at 5 and wake up at 1. At least in my instance. And what I'm trying to say, but I really love this stream, man. Maybe we can I don't like to plan anything because I don't want you to feel obligated, but how about we I go back to work Friday morning. Let's maybe shoot for maybe doing Elden Ring. I haven't been playing it as much because I've been working on my YouTube video stuff, but or at the very least, I know we can always play something else too, if you're cool with that. I'm gonna definitely be streaming tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. I don't know when or how long, but sometimes I just never know how I feel. But I'm gonna be on. And worst case scenario, hey, even if we don't get a chance to play, I go back to work. We can always play during the week one time, you know. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm sure we can always find time to play one of those days if we don't play before I go back to work, if you want to. Well, I appreciate that. One of the things that I've never been able to do is have a schedule, because my anxiety doesn't have a schedule, so I can't have one when I stream. And as funny as that may sound, that's the truth. But anyways, I'm going to stop. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm glad. Initially, I didn't want to stream this long, but I'm glad I did. Zyphon, I hope everything's going good with work. And we'll talk later if that sounds good, brother. Thanks for hanging out, man. I really appreciate it. I just want you to know what it means to me, man. Oh, that's totally cool, brother. I get that, man. If I don't see you for 2 weeks, dude, I will never say, hey, man, you said you said. I don't do that. There's certain people, like Zyphon, he's one of the first people that was been in the community. I think 3 months went by and I didn't even see him. So I mean, I don't care about that. You know, as long as you just love being a part of whatever this community is, that's all I care about. Attending streams, I love it. Talking to you, I love it. Subbing, following, liking, I love that. Is it required? Absolutely not. Do I view you differently if you do that? Absolutely not. Do I care if you do that? No. It's not the way I operate, man. But anyways, that's another reason why I could never do this as a business. How can you be loyal and genuine to people, but also expect those people to give you their hard-earned money? Nah, I can't do that. That's another problem I have with some streamers who, you know, it's like, hey, you know, I love you, man. I love having you here. Nah, you love having me here because I pay you money. Not saying me specifically, but, you know, it's like that guy who's been subbed to you for 3 straight years every month, a tier 2 sub and paying $20 a month. Would you still think highly of him if he stopped subbing and stopped donating? Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I know for a fact I couldn't do that. I can't take money from people that I view as friends or respect on that level. It just doesn't feel right. You know. But anyways, I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Totally. But I also find it is a little bit of exploitative. Because you know exactly what I'm saying. These guys are streaming and they're talking to these people who are basically supporting their lifestyle. I mean, that's fine and all. But I don't know. I just find it challenging that when they treat those people like they're a friend, it's like the elephant in the room is you treat them that way is because they give you something. And it's not a friendship or a sense of security. Well, I guess it is kind of that. It's it's the money. And if they don't do that anymore, are you still going to be loyal and respect? Anyways, I don't have no way to, you know, maybe I don't have enough viewers or subs to even express my opinion. But all right, you guys have a good one. This has been an awesome stream, Die Better, and I'm sure I'll see you around. Have a good work week. Have a good week. And anybody else lurking, appreciate it. Love y'all. Peace.